Welcome to another live episode of Halftime Adjustments. It's your host, Eddie Arnell, my man, Mr. J. Lou, Mr. J, and G. Witt. What's going on, fellas?
Tighten up, baby.
Tighten up, man. It's have some technical difficulties. I do apologize, but the show must go on, man. It seems like the Titans have rubbed up on us and given us some issues today. Coming into the game, man, we knew the Colts are going to be running Anthony Richardson. I mean, the game plan was perfect for them. They ran the ball instead of letting him throw, which you see the results, man. 38-30, the game wasn't that close, but you like to fight. The Titans showed. I know people don't want to say, there's no such thing as more victories, but I think there is one in this one because you saw fight still. Although there might be a few Titans players that was already thinking about Cabo.
Mm-hmm.
G-Witt, give me a couple things, man, you saw today in today's game.
Well, you already hit the one where they came back. Granted, the Colts were playing a little soft, but still, they took advantage of it, kept going down the field. I think we saw today the value of T. Sweat in the run defense, as Jonathan Taylor had a field day today. It's good to see the young linebackers get in there, especially Cedric Gray. I thought he had a pretty decent game. Other than that, there really wasn't a whole lot of positive on both sides of the ball. It's good that they came back, made a game of it, but with 2 minutes and 53 seconds left to go, they made it 30-38, but they just couldn't get any closer than that. So, it is what it is. I mean, right now, you're just trying to see who's wanting to play and who doesn't.
Yeah, that's going to be important going down the stretch. But J. Lou.
Yes, sir.
Do you got it like one thing? Oh, I know you got a few things.
Good. Oh, I got some positives.
But go ahead.
You know me. So let me get my positives on there for you. If we get this same version of Chig next year, then watch out. We might have a tight end that's coming. This is technically 3 good games he's put together back to back. He set a career high again in receptions and targets. We saw it last week when Mason came into the game that he utilizes the tight ends. I mean, take the check down, take what's there. You like the ball control from Chig because I mean he's had an opportunity with fumbles, etc. So you like that. And I will talk about the running back as well. I thought Spears again accounted for 2 touchdowns if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Rushing and passing, so that dual threat that you see, and was able to see him spell Tony Pollard again. Tony went over 1,000 yards. I mean, that's when you come January 5th, when we're doing the last show for the season, and you put it in recap, you would have thought we couldn't get 1,000 yards with this offensive line we got. Let's just be honest, and what we've seen, and I mean we've had 7 or 8 losses by double digits, so we haven't been running the ball like normal. But to see 1,000 yards come from Tony Pollard, I think is a positive. The left side of the offensive line, I thought the offensive line did okay today, all things considering. Now, DeForest Buckner is a cheat code. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Brunskill.
Yeah, it is what it is when it comes to that. But I thought you saw the 2 backups that came in. Dylan got hurt, and MPF was probably just benched. And
I think so.
I thought the right side kind of held up. That's about all. Oh, and the other positive, I didn't have to yell about Colt Anderson today. Now, and I'm not going to even put the missed field goal on him because you brought back a kicker who
struggled.
You had him in training camp and all, and he was short. We knew it should have been, and maybe there's something with leg strength there that he's missed, because I know we talked about it on text about how well he kicked to a camp, but even his kickoffs were short. We think about it, and they were inside a dome, and I think it's safe to say we know this team ain't coaching you to kick it short with how terrible our coverage is. So I won't even put that on Colt Anderson, but you saw a nice dime of a punt from Stoney that placed him right down on the 1. So you started to see a little bit of that. So that's about my positives from that standpoint.
Man, thank y'all for joining us tonight. Dion, 8th grade, Two Tone Blue Studios. Appreciate y'all, man. Get your comments in. K. Lou, Nathan, Q, Dion, you funny, man. He said January 5th, last show. I get the feeling you think we're not going to sneak into the playoffs. But both of y'all already hit on a few other things. Chig, I sent you guys a text earlier. I think he's really coming to his own. They got to keep feeding the ball to him. He had a great day today. You already mentioned Spears running the ball. Pollard again. Not many people thought Pollard was a good running back when he came in. Many people thought he was going to be over 1,000 yards. But like you said, he's showing his worth to the team right now.
Yeah.
And I will give shout out to Stoney today for punting. I thought he punted well. And not to mention, we had pretty good punt coverage for the most part. Oliver and Hardy Jr., which they just brought Hardy Jr. in a few weeks ago, and he's proven their value on special teams. I will say this: Mason Rudolph is who he is.
Yeah.
But you see why Callie made the change, because he got rid of the ball at times. He did hold the ball long today a couple times. But he got the ball off. He took the check downs, and you would hope that Will, as he goes forth in his career, wherever that might be, learns to do those type of things as well. So Jay Lou, man, let's talk about the offense today, man. What you saw, good drive to start off with, and then it just kind of died after that.
Man, it just kind of died after that. And we talk back through text all the time, and G Witt has said it all season long. We can't take advantage of turnovers. Got a turnover and a good chance to go up at least 10, if not 14. And of course, we missed the field goal, and the wheels just fell off after that. This team, if every game ended after the first quarter, would probably be undefeated, if not one loss. I mean, because we start off well, and then it spirals down. It was nice. I mean, I think we had like CBS's 6-string team on there, but one of the guys, Ross, is an offensive lineman. So to your point about holding the ball too long, there was a few times you could hear that old lineman coming out of him saying, and one particular was NPF, where they might put the sack on NPF, but he did his job well enough to where if Mason steps up or whatnot, he can get rid of the ball. At this point, I still think the offense is, and again, you're right. For Mason is who we thought he is. He still is late on throws. Now, he's not as late as Will Levis is, but he's still late on some throws. I thought that another positive I forgot, but I thought that Calvin Ridley did a good job tracking the ball today. They did very well with that, especially some of the deep shots. One of them was a bogus holding call, but they took it back. But I thought he overall played well. But it's just like the offense cannot get in a rhythm. And I texted y'all earlier and said it, and I really thought that Callahan was coaching this game like as one of those, hey, I'm about to prove to y'all that my offense and stuff works. Think about how many play actions. We've been screaming play action on this show forever. I'm pretty certain that we ran about 4 or 5 in a row at one time there, but I still think we were a little too pass happy before the game got out of hand. Now, I get it when you try to come back, but before the game got out of hand, I thought they were a little too pass happy. And then I'm gonna continue to say it. This offense is absolutely clueless and lost when it comes to 2-minute and hurry up offense. It's non-existent.
I know.
And we saw that today. But I mean, you saw the scheme because I mean, you've seen again some plays where players are open, but the offense could never get out of his own way and get into a rhythm.
G Witt, what you got, man?
No, I mean, the one thing about today, really, I thought the offense started off really well. The throw to Calvin Ridley for the touchdown was a thing of beauty. I thought Mason Rudolph did a great job with that. One of the things you have to just say, our center got his lunch handed to him today by DeForest Buckner. I mean, he just really just manhandled him for pretty much the whole game. And I know that had a lot to do also affecting the run game because they were clogging up the middle. So, and the linebackers were filling on the outside. So I know he ran a lot of play action, but I also know the running game wasn't working on the outside or the inside. So that was a big problem right there. I thought Chig played well. I thought Calvin Ridley played well, except for just one bad habit that he's got that led to, I'm going to say I think it was the missed field goal. I mean, they threw the ball to him. He caught the ball. All he has to do is just turn up, and he's got the first down. But instead, he runs sideline to sideline, gets tackled a yard short, we never make it up, end up missing the field goal.
Yep.
Mhm.
That's the thing about it. Kevin Ridley is a good player, but really sometimes you got to learn. I mean, you just got to learn. Look, well, put it like this: you're a veteran. You can't just outrun everybody sideline to sideline. Just turn up and get the first down. And he's done that numerous times throughout the season where he's had an opportunity to get more yards. Instead of just turning up, he tries to run sideline, almost I'm gonna say almost like a rookie, and gets caught and end up being short of the sticks. Uh, it was good to see DMR get a catch.
Yes.
I thought that was good. I thought he did a good job there.
Was there a problem with the shoes today? Because they kept falling. People,
Man.
Yeah,
and on that catch he fell twice.
Yeah, he fell twice. I got to remember, I got to give, even though, like you said, Mason Rudolph is Mason Rudolph. We knew who he was when we got him, so we were hoping that he was just going to be mop up duty if nothing else. But that changed. But I will give him credit for that one smart play he made when he slipped and fell,
and then just
Pollard while he was on his knees and got positive yards out of it. I thought that was really good. But overall, just again. Like you said, the offense just can't get out of his own way. One way or another, something always happens. I mean, that one pass that Ridley caught on the sideline that they ruled a catch gets called back for hands to the face on Brunskill. I'm like, man, we just simply cannot get out of our own way. So it really causes a lot of problems, and that's something that I'm sure when Cali self scouts after the season, he's going to look at that and look at himself. He got frustrated when you saw him going over there talking to his dad about what was going on and everything. So he was frustrated about everything that happened. But it's just one of those. It was one of those games, man, where the offense just couldn't get out of the way.
Yeah, and I agree with you, Dion. He says this bottom line really needs to execute the fundamentals needs first, get the first down, then get the extra downs. Yep. No doubt about that. Yeah, it was I don't know, man. It's just like and I was, we saw Callahan go and talk to his father. He was so frustrated. He didn't know what to do. He's like, Dad, I mean, I can imagine the conversation he was having. But offense today, 5 of 11, on third down, 307 total yards, 23 or 34 for Mason, 252, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Only 1 sack. To your point, Jay Lee, you said the offensive line played pretty decent day. I thought they did too. Even when that 1 sack did come off MPF side, I thought Mason should have stood up in the pocket, moved up in the pocket, because he still had some room and he actually kind of drifted into the sack. So I wasn't mad at MPF for that, but like you said, they'll probably give it to him anyway. 4 penalties of 35 yards, 26 minutes of time possession, only 65 yards rushing today. And speaking of rushing, G. Whitman, start on the defense for me.
Well, okay. I would say this. I was really hopeful. I thought the game plan was good coming out. I was glad to see that Denard Wilson got out of his zone play scheme and had him playing a little bit closer press coverage and everything. But we got a good turnover from Amani Hooker, good interception. I thought that was a great play. But it seemed like after that, and maybe it was after T. Swift got poked in the eye, but after that, it's just like the wheels fell off as far as defense was concerned. I mean, they could not stop the run at the point of attack at all. No clogging up the middle. I mean, Jonathan Taylor had 2 long runs where he really did not get touched. Broke Amani Hooker's ankles on the 60, I guess it was 63-yarder, 68-yarder, whatever the case may
70.
be. Yeah, broke his ankles on that one. And then also, and I'm going to keep preaching this because I still don't understand why he's on the field. Worley is even as a sub, he's a liability. I mean, this is a joker that doesn't want to tackle, and he's to the point right now. Not only does he not want to tackle, he's taking bad angles, and I think he's taking them on purpose so he won't get hit. He just does not want to tackle, and he had a couple of opportunities to make some good tackles to stop some plays and did not do it. The linebacker play I thought was really I'm just going to say, you may disagree, but I just think it was poor. Again, like you said during our text, Eddie, where was the run fits? It just wasn't happening. I thought Cedric Gray played good when he got in the game. I thought he played hard and gave a lot of good effort and everything. And I thought Williams did okay. But when you look at your vets, I mean, Murray, he has some good plays, but it's just not consistent enough. And I just had some problems with that, unfortunately. I thought Big Jeff did what he could and everything, although I still say that your boy Quentin Nelson should have got an Oscar for that personal foul penalty he got called on Big Jeff. But other than that, man, it really was not a good day for the defense at all. The worst run defensive day uh, the whole season. I mean, it was just terrible. And so I don't know. And like I said, I was glad to see Big Jeff out there playing for Pride. And of course, the announcers put out there that he was still on the sidelines, telling everybody, "Look, you got to play. You got to get this done." So that just shows you his leadership and everything. But this defense right today just did not do the job that we were expecting them to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna get this comment in, J. Lou, and then we'll talk more about defense. Dion says 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, and we passed the ball from shotgun both times instead of running it in. Please explain it to me. That's one of my pet peeves, and I know J. Lou also likes to talk about that because it bothers him as well. Not really sure why you run out of shotgun.
I'll be honest. I'll give you 2nd and 3rd if you're gonna call 2 pass plays, because the 3rd down one was a touchdown if you hold up.
Yeah.
But you only call those plays if you're going for it on 4th and 1. And I think that's where I had the problem with, because you're right, to Dion's point. The run game was working. You figure your O-line can get you 1 yard, and we just the pass plays and then you punt it. I think that I had more of an issue with us punting it on 4th. Even in the 2nd and 3rd, because again, when you call back-to-back passes like that, okay, then I'm going for no 4th down.
It was less than a yard too.
Yeah, less than a yard.
but I will say that, and again, it shouldn't come into play. But I think the fact that they went for it on that 3rd and 1 with a quarterback sneak and DeForest Buckner blew it up, I think Caleb was like, "I'm just not going to try that anymore," which to me doesn't make sense.
Yes,
yes. I'll be the first one to say that doesn't make sense. You got to keep going. Regardless in short yardage situations, still run the ball. You got to, at least I would say, like, if nothing else, run behind Skoronski and Latham, because you know they can get you a yard.
Yes.
So I will agree with him on that. It doesn't make sense. You should have. I would have thought at least on 3rd and 1 you would have tried it. And if you didn't make it, yeah, go for it on 4th and 1. But I think, in all honesty, once he didn't get that 3rd and 1 with that quarterback sneak and DeForest Buckner blew it up. Again, I think he was just scared to try anything where they were going to hand the ball off and try to go up the middle.
That was the problem, because they got blew up on the quarterback.
Quarterback sneak.
Tracing 2 yards in the backfield on the quarterback.
Quarterback sneak. Quarterback
Dion,
sneak.
I told you, man, my camera's jacked up. So I'm logged in on everybody. Man, come on, the Titans are already suck, and you want to give me a hard time about my graphics, brother. Come on. I'm just playing. Now my camera's messed up, man. I'm trying to fix it, but anyway. So yeah, I understand the coaching by Cali at that point, because like you said, you just had a defensive tackle on 2 or 3 yards in the backfield on the quarterback sneak.
Yep.
I'm like, good Lord Almighty. Now, back to the defense though, and I'm gonna come back to you, J. Lou. Like I was saying earlier, the run fits, and so here's the problem, in my opinion, and you take it for what it's worth, because it don't mean much, but when your defensive linemen aren't staying in their gaps and maintaining gap integrity, that makes it hard on linebackers. It really does.
Yep.
And so when the offensive linemen are able to get to the linebackers, as you saw today, those lanes are wide open. Yeah, I mean, getting trapped. I mean, I understand you get trapped there once in a while because it's a tough play to diagnose. Because what happens is your man leaves you and you standing in space.
Right.
Now, where do you go? Do you go upfield? Do you play down the line of scrimmage? It just depends. You have to read it. But man, I'll tell you, if the defensive line is getting gashed like they were now, and Denard, I think he's a good coordinator. He's got a bright future. I just don't understand sometimes the slant of the whole defensive line on one side and leave the backside open. I don't. And I get it. I get it's a run stunt. But in order to do that, you got to have the backside integrity in the gaps. Your backside Arden Key was inside a bunch. You got a backside corner that's got a feel. You also got a safety and a backer on that side. So I mean, it just looked really bad today. People out of position, and it made me think that some of those guys kind of gave up. Getting out of position and out of gap schemes. It's professional. You don't really see that much, but you saw it today. But go ahead, J. Lou.
Yeah, I mean, it the defense, the run game, the run game. You talked about it a lot. You just said it, so great way you put it there. There's that for I texted and teased. Amani Hooker's having arguably an All Pro season, and then after I texted after his interception, he decided to remind me why he's not being talked about as an All Pro. Gee whiz, I think that tackling as the safeties is just they're allergic to it. I mean, and to your point about effort, we try. You had Taylor on the side. No, that wasn't Taylor. It was the wide receiver Downs
Josh
on the side.
Downs.
On the sideline, and he gets a tiptoe touchdown because you wanted the arm tackle. And then let's just be honest, Amani Hooker, you saw the special teams play. He got hurt. He got hurt because he does not want to tackle. You threw your arm out there and looked like you tore your shoulder, wrist, or something up trying to make a arm tackle. So tackling is fundamental. I agree with what you said about Sweat. You see the important. It was hard. He stopped running up the middle when Sweat came back in the game. And again, Big Jeff, you do like to see that from your leader. Now he got the 15-yard penalty and it was a flop, but he's got to do better from that standpoint. I did think that Gray, it was good to finally see him get some playing time, some significant playing time. I think that's the biggest issue with these linebackers, and this is why when we were all chatting 2 or 3 weeks ago when we thought the rookies should have been playing, this is why they should have been playing, because they have the speed. They just need to be coached at the position. Because you can see that, right? Because you can see that a lot today. But I thought overall it was good to see them getting some playing time. Cheeto is there's a reason he can't man press. The speed's not there. And for as good as Denard was without backing him off today, when did you back him off? When it was third date and you're trying to make a comeback, and you had Jarvis Brownlee, who we've seen in people's face masks the entire season, was 10 yards off the ball for a quick first down, easy pitch and catch. So again, it just goes back to the overall structure of this team with coaching from a play calling standpoint. We're 16 games, 34, somewhere in there, 16 games into the season, 16 games into the season, and they're still making play calls like first-time play callers. And I think that's the most disappointing piece of it on both sides, offense and even from Denard, that you would think you want to flip. This is 2 games in a row. And again, the announcers did a good job talking about the stats can be a little deceiving because against the pass, they've been doing phenomenal. But it's 2 games in a row that from a rushing standpoint, you just got obliterated. Oh, and this to me was worse than Washington.
It was.
And I think we finally have realized, I don't think we have any left because, CJ Stroud, iffy. But we've got to figure out a way next year to game plan against mobile quarterbacks.
Yep.
Because it's non-existent. And again, to your point, Ed, this is one where I would have, which they did beat you running the ball, but I would have wanted Anthony Richards to beat me running the ball because he cannot throw. They didn't trust him throwing it. That only 10 passes, 11 attempts. But mobile quarterbacks, we are fearful of them, and it showed by getting embarrassed all year long around quarterbacks who are mobile.
And I agree with that, Eddie Gray. I think the injuries in the secondary has kind of slowed us up some. And Deion says, we're still weak at those positions, linebackers and safety. I wouldn't say so much. We got to say inexperienced, especially at linebacker. I think we got some young men that can play. And they just need the experience.
Yeah.
Henry Blaze, man, appreciate it. He said, I think Callie's another McDaniels. I hope not.
That's a low blow, man. That's a low blow.
The truth there. Some people are better offensive coordinators than head coaches.
Oh, well, that's true.
That's true. Deion says they're making play calls like tanking on the down low. So Deion, you remember last week we kind of said that. And I hate to say that, man. I really do. But, man, some things make you scratch your head like,
yes,
that just don't look right. It don't. It just don't look right. You just think about it. They come out strong. Again, this is the second game in a row. We saw this. They came out good last time, against the Jaguars. Come back this week, start off strong. And then it's like the wheels fell off and start playing soft coverage and start running the ball 2-3 times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And man, but it's So here, I'm gonna go back to something you said, Jay Lee. You said, we have yet to produce a good game plan against a mobile quarterback. Here's the
Mm-hmm.
problem I think. I'm gonna see what y'all think about this. We don't have enough speed on the edge. I mean, let's face it. Harold Landry don't have the speed. Arden Key don't have the speed, and so we don't have the speed. All right, we already have a problem setting the edge. We don't have the speed. You can't run sideline to sideline, but you got to be able to do that with a mobile quarterback. Y'all remember what we did to Lamar Jackson in the playoffs back in 19, right? 1920 season.
Yep.
We had edge players that could play, right? Kept him inside, made him run lateral instead of up and down the field.
Right.
That's the difference. Yep. We don't have that speed on the edge. And so the rebuild on the defense needs to be edge. We know we've talked about that. Edge, more speed in the secondary, and and get some dogs that can win pass rushes and one-on-one, and defeat run blocks. And so until we get that, mobile quarterback's going to be the death of this defense.
Yes.
We've been seeing this so much, man. But 8 of 15 for third down for the Colts today. I mean, 458 yards of total offense, 335 on the ground. That's when have we ever seen them give up 300 yards? Never. That 281 against the Texans in 2018 is the most since then. 2 for 3 in the red zone, 7 penalties for them, 33 minutes of time possession. I mean, we made the game easy for Anthony Richardson, right? Didn't make him throw the ball at all. When he did, you saw what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, you like the way Big Jeff is playing. I thought he played a good. He's put a string together here the last 4 or 5 games. I mean, when he's been really playing good. And I still don't understand people saying that he's not being effective, but they just don't watch the game, I guess. Let's see.
Not right.
Eddie Gray says Gray and Williams look to be a decent tandem. I agree with you. Raiders win. We picking third. Brian Spivey. Anyway, look at the positive. Diaz says guys, I practically scratched all the hair off my head trying to figure out some of these players.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like that, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it is. And guess what? We got 2 more weeks.
2 more.
7 of 11 for 131 for Richardson, 29 for 218, 3 touchdowns for Jonathan Taylor, 9 for 70 for Anthony Richardson. I mean, golly, it was just brutal. Special teams, they kind of already hit that a little bit. You glad to see, and I know you guys were too. You glad to see Stoney didn't have PTSD today because the last time he saw, well, not the last time he saw the coach, but anytime we play the coach, right? You got to think about that possibility that happened again. He averaged 55 yards a punt. Like I said, he punted well today. I thought he had some good hang time, some good placement on the ball, and we had some pretty good coverage for the most part until G was said the punt cover was good, and then they had a long return.
Yes.
As soon as you open your mouth about something to give them a compliment,
they give it back.
Yeah.
Right. And Spears did a good job returning kickoffs today, I thought.
He did.
42 yards for the long, and it's I mean, like I said, there was some positives, but man, it was just an ugly football game. Now they didn't have the turnovers like they did last week, or all the penalties and stuff, but the other stuff, just not moving the ball and just the simple things. Mason trying to look off Kid more, but didn't look off, and he stared him down. Do a pick. The Tony Pollard tip, he should have caught the ball. That was just unfortunate play on that pick.
Yeah. And the last one is just a throwaway. They wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to even mention that one because it was at the part of the game that it happened. But going to Jacksonville next week, guys, 10-6 last time, couldn't even score in the red zone. There was I turned on the radio because I had to run out and do a few things after the game was over, and they were talking about Cali not even making a decision on who's going to be the quarterback for next week. I said, is there a decision to be made?
I mean, when he said it was week to week. Well, there's a decision to be made if you're still with Deion say earlier. We always say if you're unofficially tanking, then you make a decision. Because I mean, let's just be honest. You said that you gave yourself an out to have a decision not to be made because you said that you put Mason in because he gave you the best chance to win. He went out there and made some of the same mistakes that you bench Will Levis for. Now, he got rid of the ball, and the offense moved a little bit better from a pass standpoint. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, the staring down of the interceptions, the only difference between his play to Tony Pollard and Will Levis would have threw it to the wrong jersey when he was laying on the ground. But, I mean, I think that at this point in time, I think Callie's just trying to figure out something to see if he can still be employed come January 6th. Right. That's my honest opinion.
You score 30 points and you lose.
Right.
You lose. Yeah, Okay,
Uh,
I'll leave that alone.
now go ahead.
No, I'll leave that alone because I just take a different mindset on the 30 points. I mean, the Colts almost blew the game because they started playing soft coverage and wasn't playing aggressive or
That's
anything.
their
So
fault. They shouldn't
I'm
play
not disagreeing with that at all.
that.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But it's the same thing that happened last week with Cincinnati when Mason came in. I mean, they were playing off coverage, wasn't really rushing the passer and everything. And I'm saying any experienced NFL quarterback is going to take advantage of that. But like I said, it's just one of them things where I don't know. Like I said, I like you guys. I'm waiting for the last two games to come through and be over with, so we can start hoping again.
Now I don't know. I would say Will probably would have been taking advantage of the soft coverage just because
No, he
he's not
wouldn't.
ready to. So, but yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
I just mentioned that 30 points.
again, we still don't have a 2-minute offense.
And the Raiders won today. So that's
Yep.
what number 3 pick now. Number 4. Number 4 pick.
No. You're
Number
number
3.
3. You're number
Number
3.
3.
You wanted, so I can talk about this piece
Yeah,
because
go ahead. Go ahead.
I love the draft. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're 3-14, you have to look forward to the draft, or 3-13, whatever we are. But so the tiebreaker on draft for the first round is strength of schedule.
Right.
You wanted the Raiders to win so they could be tied with you, because the unfortunate part for the Raiders is they play in a division that's probably going to have 3 AFC playoff teams in there. So their strength of schedule is a lot higher than ours. So we would be tied and we would be ahead of them when the season ends. And then Jacksonville is technically ahead of us right now. If the decision goes the way it should next week, you slip up to that number 2 slot, and then you really, if you can get the 1 or 2 slot and you're not sold on a quarterback. What did I tell you? I think I told y'all this off air. If you get 1 or 2 and you ain't sold on a quarterback, you can almost get you one of those king ransoms to move back to 4 or 5 or one of those teams that are gonna give up the world to come up there for a quarterback. So it can get kind of interesting then.
Yeah.
So to that point, Ed, you might see Will Levis out there next week.
You might. You never know. Nathan says, "How we feel if we get swept by Mac Jones?" That's a LOL, all right.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It says if Levis played today, there would have been no fight to make it respectable.
That's true.
Good point. Good point.
That's true.
Dion says Callie's problem is he don't have a quarterback. Or his system works, he'll make mistakes, but we need a decent start. I agree with you, man. I think if we had a decent quarterback, we win more games than 3. So,
I don't know.
but yeah, it's got the Jaguars and talking about draft and quarterbacks and 3rd pick, and if you don't love Sanders or Ward, then what you gonna do? You gonna trade back? You gonna go? A lot of those guys are going back to school this year. I'm out on the Indiana quarterback after Saturday. I mean, I wasn't too high on him in the first place. Yeah, he could throw a good ball, but if you know anything about Notre Dame football, they run a man. They run an NFL style defense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have their coach is an former NFL DC, and he was not ready for that. So I just say it like that. I just say it like that. But yeah, we have to see what's gonna happen. 2 more weeks left, and then we'll see if Amy's gonna clean house. I don't know if they have another ugly game against the Jags, if anybody survives that. I just don't know. And then they finish up with a loss against Houston. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're looking at that thing. If they blow it up, then okay, to Jay Lou's point, you're getting ready to set your whole thing back another 2 years, because it's going to be another 2 years before you're worth anything.
Yeah, if they would have did it a few years ago.
You know, you can't. Bottom line is that's over with. So you got to go with what you got to go with now.
I mean, yeah, but you would think the progress would have been made more than where it is now. But it is what it is at this point, and we got to live with it.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, look around the league at the sorry teams. Now the Giants they're worse than us, I think.
Yeah.
But then you look at somebody like the Panthers, what you would hope that you would be seeing from the Titans is improved play. Now the Panthers won again in overtime. They should have won last week, I think, in overtime.
Yeah,
They've been
That-
improving.
They've been improving,
Every week.
and the young kid who got Young,
Bryce Young,
Bryce Young has looked so much better since he took that benching earlier in the season. We did not get that at all with our team, and that's what makes you like, oh gosh, how far behind are we? And again, this is the NFL that's designed to. I mean, you got to spend 90% of the cap. It's designed to turn on a dime, and you see that with. You can look at Washington right now. One quarterback and a couple pieces have really made that team well, because I think we have the fundamental playoff defense. Like, we've got a playoff caliber defense, I would expect. It's just when your offense can't do nothing. Like the defense.
Same story.
Like the turnover that the defense had. If you just look at their body language when they had to come back out after the missed field goal, I'm like, oh yeah, they laid down. They like, well, here we go again.
It's the same old story, man. It's the same old story that they've been playing all. You get a turnover and you do nothing with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think if we go back and look at the turnovers that we've had, and granted we didn't have any for over half the season, but when we started getting them, they didn't do anything with those turnovers. It was either a 3 and out, or you move the ball down the field, you turn it over, or you miss a field goal. You know, but you
quarterback play.
Yeah, you didn't do anything with it. So, you know, that's demoralizing for a defense. You know, we give you a play, we give you momentum, and you can't do anything with it. Same thing, you know, if you stop somebody, you give your team a chance to win with a little bit more than 2 minutes or just under 2 minutes left to play, and your offense goes out there and lays an egg.
Mm-hmm.
Lays an egg.
I mean, you know, we haven't had a 2-minute offensive run to end the half in any game. Mm-hmm. And we've had opportunities.
Never,
you know, and that's the whole thing. And really, I must say, that's what's disappointing to me about Will Levis, in all honesty. It's like Jaden Daniels today. I was talking to our resident Commander fan, and he was saying how Jaden Daniels just played horrible today. Horrible the whole game. Forcing throws, holding the ball too long, all that. They move in. They got Philadelphia goes up 33-28. He gets the ball with a minute something left to go in the game. What does he do?
Wins the game.
Goes right down the field, makes the whole way. We don't have that right now. So to the Deion's point earlier, we don't have a good QB. That's
at all.
What it is to it. You know, a good QB will change your team around.
So
boy,
they coming. It's coming in.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get something. Deion said, if anything, we would need to beat Houston and keep Amy in check. Nathan says everything looked so good on paper to start the year. It did. And EJ said the Mayflower Moving Company vans are coming soon to arrive in the
Cowboy. Could be.
Deion, that's a great point. J. Lou mentioned that before. It was talked about several times. Is that does Callan need to turn the play call over to the OC instead of him doing both? And we think so. Eddie Gray says, do we bring in Justin Fields? You know, Eddie Gray, I really like that option. Justin Fields coming to Tennessee, but we'll see. Gregory, appreciate you joining us, man. He said go get Sam Darnold. And Eddie Gray says G Wiz Mike is terrible. I don't know what's going on over at G Wiz house tonight. But but yeah, what do you think about those guys? We kind of talked about Justin Fields a little bit earlier, guys. We talked about Sam Darnold as well. I don't know if he'll leave Minnesota. Don't know what kind of recovery JJ McCarthy's gonna have during the offseason. But you know, so he'll be playing his rookie year over again next year without any NFL experience. Justin Fields is an interesting idea. I also think, and it just depends on the trade value, the market value of Jake Browning and the trade with the Bengals. He was the backup to Joe Burrow. And so those are the things that kind of popped in my mind. We saying if there's not a quarterback that the Titans like in the draft. But let me hear y'all's comments, man. Justin Fields, let's talk about it out loud. I know we kind of hit it a little bit on the chat earlier, but Justin Fields and Sam Darnold, possibly Russell Wilson, because he's on a 1-year deal as well. I don't know what they're gonna do in Pittsburgh, but you need a stopgap if you don't like a quarterback in the draft this year.
You need a stopgap. If Amy allows Callahan to come back and ran as well, then I think both of them are coaching for their job. And I think you rather hitch your wagon to a veteran that you can handpick as opposed to a rookie that is going to be a rookie. Um, I think Fields is intriguing. I really think he's intriguing, especially the stopgap. The problem is, and it was shown this year, you wouldn't be in this situation. And I think it was brought up on the call a couple weeks ago by one of our fans that you handed the job to Will Levis based off 2 games in essence last year. And so, you built it around him. And again, it's set up to where if you needed to plug another quarterback in, because you got to think, you still got Calvin coming back next year, and you got some young guys at wide receiver. You still got Tony Pollard. Your offense is still there. Where if a different, more experienced veteran quarterback could come in, we don't know what Callie's full playbook looks like, if that makes sense. Because I think that he's shortened it up a lot, given the offensive line and
can't get out of huddle time.
Yeah, right. So I think, to your point about Jake Brown, and I think a 7th round pick easily gets you that trade value. I wouldn't be surprised there. But there's some interesting. This is gonna sound crazy because he just got benched in Atlanta, but I wouldn't be so. I feel like Kirk Cousins could be next year's Russell Wilson. So Kirk it's already been rumored and put out that he's gonna be released. A team that signs Kirk Cousins next year would be smart to just give him a veteran minimum, because then that means that Atlanta has to kick in and pay 25, 26 million anyway. So and that's in essence what Russell Wilson did this year with Pittsburgh. So, and again, he'll be 2 years removed then, coming off the Achilles tendon. That's another potential decent stopgap. So again, if you get held in this top 3 position, if you could even get up to 2 or 1, I think it really becomes intriguing on what you can do if you're not sold on one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft.
Go ahead, G-Wit.
No. I can see Kirk Cousins being a stopgap, especially if you're talking about going out there and drafting another rookie. But I'm for one am not just overly sold on Sam Darnold. I think he's having a good year with Minnesota, but I think a lot of that has to do with Kevin O'Connell and the way he's calling the plays and everything. And because he did the same thing with Kirk Cousins up there. And I think that's the biggest deal, because even when he was in San Francisco, Sam Darnold didn't do that well, I didn't think. So I just look at Minnesota being one of those teams that he fit, and you got a good play caller who took advantage of his skills and everything. And I think he's playing with a lot more confidence. But again, he's playing around a decent offensive line, and our offensive line right now is weak, although it could be strengthened in the offseason. I don't know. Justin Fields, I just don't know. I mean, I think he can get you some gains, but again, I don't know. Right now, I don't know who you would get as a veteran to be a stopgap. Right now, I really don't know. I don't know who would be good enough to put you in a position to win more games than you got right now.
Yeah, Will says he'll pass on Donald also. He'll turn back into his old self in this system. He's got 2 good wide receivers while he's looking good. That's a good point. On Sam Donald. But yeah, it's going to be curious to see what happens. Eddie Gray says no on Kirk Cousins. Deion says, I don't know why Rand would be on the hot seat. He's made some sensible moves with what he was given to work with. And started the year.
Callahan.
Eddie Gray says, I ain't been sold on him since he was in DC. He's talking about Kirk Cousins. Yeah. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. 2 more weeks. We'll see if Amos go clean house, or is she gonna ride it out for another season, give them another chance to see if they can't right the ship.
I stick with my same state. I think they got 6 games next year.
At least
Fields
gonna
give him 6 games.
I'm not saying I think Fields will be an intriguing option.
I do. Yeah, I wouldn't mind bringing in Justin Fields. He really. I mean, in hindsight, I'm never going to question Mike Tomlin, my favorite coach. But I mean, Fields had Pittsburgh looking good at the beginning of the year, and people questioned why he would be for Russell Wilson. So,
right. And let's go back to what he had in Chicago at coach.
Yes.
Offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So I mean, he started playing good his last year there toward the mid to late end of that season last year, but it was the Bears, and
Yeah, but is Pittsburgh gonna let him go? That's the question.
They have to. They didn't
got to
pick
do
up.
something.
I know he's only got a 1-year deal, but
They didn't pick up his 5th-year option, so he's
Yeah.
a free agent regardless, unless you use the franchise tag on him. And
Right.
I don't think they're gonna give him 25, 30 million for 1 year.
So there's some options out there. If there's not anybody that catches their eye in the draft, all the college quarterbacks that are coming out. So we'll see what happens. That's a long time away. 2 more weeks of the season. He said,
I can't do
"New
it.
idea. Bring Cam back this time." I don't know about
that's
that.
been tried once.
That experiment didn't work in New England, did it?
Mm-mm.
Thank y'all, man, for joining us for another episode of Halftime Adjustment. Eddie RNLG with J. Lou.
Sure.
Titans fall today, 30-30 against the Colts. Texans sit at 9-6. Colts 7-7. Titans and Jags 3-12. Now, I will say this: the game. EJ Paulette says Cam is on a reality show. He is. You're right. He is on a reality show. It's getting ready to start this week, I think. I saw him on the preview. Yeah. So, this is the big telltale sign for this game coming up. Who's gonna tank the worst?
That part.
Oh my gosh! If it's another 9-6 or 3-6 ball game, you gonna know. Oh my gosh, that's just
That was
that's
horrible.
crazy. That's crazy.
What's the draft order now? Who's first?
The Giants. The Giants they almost unlocked that up. It goes Giants, the Raiders, then the Giants, the Jags, then us.
That's right. Yeah.
And again, the Jags, by virtue of strength of schedule, ours is a little tougher right now, but they beat us next week. It flips us to at least second. So we needed the Raiders to lose today because they went from like first to second all the way down to like 6th or 7th. So
he said, "Bring back Cam. You gonna lead that effort? Bring back Cam. Bring back."
Yeah.
So it's gonna be really interesting if the Titans get the top 2 picks, get into that role. Because then what?
Yeah.
We already know Dion. You already know Dion don't want him to come to Tennessee. So what they gonna do? Oh man, that's gonna be funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be fun if it falls that way. Because I mean, who knows? Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah.
2 more weeks. 2 more weeks. Thank y'all again, man. Join us next week as we break down the Jags and the Titans. I'm gonna see what's gonna happen because I just feel like, Eddie says I would rather have Cam Newton than any of these cats in the draft or a free agent Barr, Wilson, or Fields. Nobody's wearing 10, so bring back Vince Young. But man, appreciate y'all joining us tonight, man. Appreciate y'all support the show, the comments, the questions, man. Check us out next week. We'll be back, man, to break down. We're gonna be here to the end. And then some.
Absolutely.
So stick with us, man. We appreciate y'all. Halftime adjustments. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.